welcome on board ITI Mutual Fund's CEO and CIO, George Joseph, joins us on the show right now. George, hi, afternoon. It's a very interesting time to launch a mutual fund. What is the philosophy on which you're going to be running it?
Yeah, it is a very interesting time because there are a lot of regulations which has come in the recent times from SEBI, which has put a level playing field for various mutual funds, be it large or small, across board. And the philosophy at which we are planning to run the funds is predominantly based on high quality businesses, high quality bonds. Therefore, we have coined a word called SQL, safety, quality and liquidity, as the predominant factors which we look at bond funds, and margin of safety, quality of the business and low leverage as the key factors for equity funds. So this will be the predominant philosophy on which we'll be running the funds, and we think it is very unique in the market as we are seeing various issues with regard to quality, which is predominantly facing a lot of mutual funds. And we are here for a long-term business, creating a mark in the mutual fund industry.
Relative to the last few months, we did see slightly better flows last month. How do you anticipate the fund flows going forward?
Actually, we are here for long-term business. The promoter's mindset is pretty long-term, and we have thought very long-term when we are coming into this business. It is not a euphoric time where all mutual funds are making a lot of profits, whereas there are 41-42 mutual funds in the industry. Many of them are bleeding, and this is the best time for us to look at the mutual fund space, thinking about the next 10 years growth prospects in the country. So we are not bothered about the recent times, whatever is happening in the market. We are thinking pretty long term. We want to build a long-term business and a world-class organization we want to create. So the good part is that we are starting in a scenario where the industry is in a fairly sluggish scenario, where a lot of players are unhappy with the recent regulations, and we are here to make a clear difference in the long-term prospects of the business. As we see, the growth potential of India is pretty strong. We think that next 10 years is going to be phenomenally good time frame, where a large amount of money will come into the financial assets, especially the GDP can quadruple in the next 10 years time. Therefore, we see a huge prospects in the mutual fund business, asset management business, as well as for the investors' wealth creation opportunity.
So how will you differentiate among the 40-odd different mutual funds in India?
Yeah, for a couple of things which has to be kept in mind. A promoter with a very sound background is coming into the play, who has created world-class organizations in the past, and that is the background of the promoters for ITI Group. For that is first and foremost which is to be noted. Secondly, we are here for long-term mindset, and therefore we want to build a strong best-in-class processes in place and hire the best talent from the market. That is the lookout of ITI Mutual Fund. For ITI Mutual Fund is here for long term, and definitely the thought process of the entire management, top management whom we have hired, are also with a long-term commitment and long-term mindset. So we think that there is a huge opportunity. Even though there are 42 mutual funds, we can differentiate in terms of the way we are launching the funds. Especially you would have noticed that in 2007 a lot of infrastructure funds were launched, and next 10 years the experience of the investors have been very pathetic. So we want to differentiate in terms of product offerings. We will launch very limited products which is more investor centric, and we want to create a long-term brand recall in terms of the good processes and good ethics that we have displayed over a long period of time. For alpha generation is the other thought many people will have, especially there is a talk about the alpha is dead, and last 2 years many of the fund managers are facing trouble in terms of the alpha generation. At ITI Mutual Fund, since we are focusing on bottom-up research and strong processes in terms of the quality paradigm, we think that there is a huge prospects for us in terms of creating a differentiated alpha generation prospects for all the mutual fund products that we will run.
Right. So which are the funds that you're looking at launching, and what is the investment framework behind them?
Yeah, we are launching ITI Liquid Fund today. That is 24th, and today itself will be the NFO closure, and tomorrow onwards it will be open for subscription for any individual or corporate. But at the same time, the thought process is that we want to be in the liquid fund, short-term fund and medium-term funds categories only, and we are not planning to have credit risk funds in the bond basket what we will run. Even the long duration bonds, we'll be very carefully be looking at as a product category, because if we are exposing the investors to undue risk in terms of capital risk, in terms of credit risk, as well as interest rate risk, the best way to do it is move them to equity category. In the equity category, as we understand, is that there is a huge potential for multi-cap category of funds, because there is a lot of confusion among investors which category of fund to be looked at. There are mid cap, small cap, large cap, mid and small cap, and various categories SEBI has defined. But we believe that multi-cap as a category is the best category to be in for investors, and therefore we are focusing on multi-cap category.
Wish you all the very best. Thanks very much for joining in with the details.